Marshall Municipal Band doing its Wednesday night band concerts. I'm Bob Meffert, and welcome to Liberty Park Band Shell. That first march, we're going to start it off and not have any suspense at all. That was John Philip Sousa and the Freelance March right up front. So we got that out of the way. No worries at all. We will have our kids march a little bit later on, and we're going to keep moving. It's kind of breaking up. I think we're good till about 11 o'clock tonight. Not that we couldn't use the rain, but let's get this thing in. Okay, we have as I said, our kids march is coming up. We have a couple of specialty items a little later in the concert, and let's keep right on going. We draw from all over the music spectrum at our band concerts. I think it's exciting for the audience. Right now we're going to go to Paris, France, and we're going to do a little bit of Jacques Offenbach. And we're going to kind of rip the place up just a little bit. This arrangement is by Claire W. Johnson, and in this order you will hear La Vie Parisienne, La Belle Hélène, La Péricole, I emphasize too much, and then the last one, Orpheus and Hades. That'd probably be the one that most people will recognize. So fasten your safety belts. We're going to go to Paris. The theme is from Offenbach. don't do blood pressure checks after that one, right? Doc, leave your stethoscope at home. Okay. Themes from Offenbach, La Vie Parisienne, La Belle Helene, La Perico, and of course the ever familiar Orpheus and Hades, all by Jacques Offenbach, arranged by Claire W. Johnson. I like to pull that out and show off the band every once in a while. It takes a lot of stuff. Well, thank you. Okay, we're going to change we're going to do a lot of mood changing this evening. The next one is that we're going to stay on the other side of the pond, and we're going to do a British march. Eric Coates from from our town, or it has town in the title. I don't have the music in front of me right now, but this is a classic march, British march, and it's called Knightsbridge. Knightsbridge March and In Town Tonight is the title of the musical that thing comes from. Eric Coates from over in England, British March. We haven't heard that for a long time around here. I heard it one time on public radio, and I thought, gee, I wonder if we have that, and I just found it again. So, Knightsbridge March. I kind of hinted at this, and I don't remember if it was Monday night at the other park or whether it was here, that we're going to feature our trumpet section tonight. How many know the piece that Leroy Anderson wrote called Bugler's Holiday? You heard that? Well, we've played it up here a number of times in years past. Irv Peterson, Brian Jones, and here, our trumpet trio. But I went to a concert this last spring, and they had the whole trumpet section playing the trio. And so we're going to try that tonight. So we're going to feature the whole trumpet section, all 9 of them. And we split it up, so there's 3 on first, 3 on second, 3 on third. And so we're just going to tear into Bugler's Holiday, and the whole section is going to just stay right up there and give us Leroy Anderson's Bugler's Holiday.
Bugler's Holiday. All the buglers stand up. Would you please? Come on. That whole trumpet section. Wow. We always featured the trombones. Well, tonight we're doing it on the trumpets. We can find some more of the other ones. We played them basses, so we honored them once in a while, and we're going to have to dig out Klaxon, aren't we? Klaxon March. I haven't played that for a while. We're running on Wednesdays. Okay, Bugler's Holiday, Leroy Anderson, the whole trumpet section. I told them, I said, that most of these people, or all of them, have played first chair in their high school band someplace. And these are all high school graduates, every one of them, and some college graduates. In fact, I think we have 2 doctors up in the section, don't we? Yeah, okay, 2 PhDs. So there's a lot of intelligence and talent up there in that trumpet section. Bugler's Holiday. We're going to have to change the mood for a time being. Try to remember from the play Fantastics. It's the only song that anybody ever knows. Yeah, I'll try to remember that too. Okay, written by Harvey Schmidt. And the play was done out here at Southwest some years ago. The tune is try to remember, and they're trying to tell me to remember to tell everybody that right after this is the Kids March. I keep forgetting to do that, and so I'm trying to announce it one piece ahead. So boys and girls all over, 4th grade and under, as soon as this next number is done, come on down to the front over here and we'll start the Kids March tonight. But right now we're going to do the ballad, Try to Remember. That's the title you should never forget. It's called Try to Remember from The Fantastics by Harvey Schmidt. Okay, boys and girls, here they come. Okay, they've heard me, and they've heard the number ending right down over here on stage, your right, stage left for those of us that are on stage. We have to remember those kind of directions too, don't we? Okay, we're going to do a kids march right now, and we're going to do one of those march and swing things from Hal Leonard music down in Winona, swing dings and so on. This is all from that same era of 1960 and whatever, but they're still good. This is our marches tonight. We had Sousa, we had Knightsbridge. Now we're going to do a Dixieland march. That's going to feature our trombones too, so we're moving two birds here. This one's called Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home? And there's a bad joke about that one too. Knock, knock on the door. Bill Bailey, I'm home. What do you do now? Okay? Bill Bailey, Dixieland March. Okay, Dixieland March. We have a couple more different styles coming up later in marches. That was arranged by Zane Van Auken. Bill Bailey, won't you please come home? All right, earlier in the year we did a piece from the movie High Society. We did a tune called It's Great to Be in High Society. Cole Porter wrote a tune for that movie, and it's Bing Crosby and Grace Kelly, I believe, are on a sailboat. They had just gotten married, and they sing to each other True Love, and that's what this one is, from the pen of Cole Porter, True Love. From the pen of Cole Porter, True Love, from the movie High Society. Thank you. Boy, we're really changing moods tonight. Now we're going to go to opera, for heaven's sake. There are a lot of people that don't like classical music, or they claim they don't like classical music. If kids would only realize that much of the cartoon music comes from Tchaikovsky and Mendelssohn and Midsummer Night's Dream and all those kinds of things. This one is a popular song. It had been made into a popular song. Alexander Borodin wrote a ballet. It's called Prince Igor, and in there is it called The Dance of the Slave Maidens, and it's quite a piece of music or ballet. And Dr. Ben Cresciuto, former band director at the University of Minnesota back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, took this tune and arranged it for his 250 or 300 piece University of Minnesota marching band. And that's sort of what this arrangement is cut down from. And I thought it was very fitting that we do this because we have two members of the University of Minnesota Marching Band sitting up in that wonderful trumpet section. Guys, raise your hand, will you please? A couple of fellows that are up there. And I told them, I said, your present director may know about this, but he may not, so kind of clue him in. This is one whale of a piece. And this coming fall, I guess Mary and I are going to have a grandson that's going to be playing right alongside of these guys in the trombone section. So this is from Alexander Borodin opera, and you'll recognize it. Here I stand, I'm a stranger in paradise. It's the tune Dr. Ben Cresciuto theme from Prince Igor. Let's see, if we have about 50 of us in here, 5 times that, okay? Prince Igor, theme from Prince Igor, Dance of the Slave Maidens. There's one arrangement I'd love to get my hands on up there. The Sounds of Silence. They have an arrangement where it starts out, this whole big 300-piece band, and it starts out with the clarinets, you know, boom, 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 and it gradually builds just like this until it blows the lid off, and then it puts it back down again. I'd love to get a hold of that one. Okay? Maybe next year I'll have connections. These two guys and my grandson. Okay, well, we'll look forward to that. All right, now we talked about the different styles of marches. We're going to do another march tonight by Everett Maxwell, and this is somewhat in the Spanish style, and it's got a little different twist in it too. Some chromatic scales done in parallels and so on, and he calls it Satellite March. Everett Maxwell, Satellite March. It had some little different twists in it and keeps you wondering. So we played all kinds of different styles of marches tonight. We're going to go back in history with this next number. This goes back to 1966. And let's see, what the name of the piece again? Or the piece is,
It's Hey, Big Spender.
oh, okay. From Sweet Charity. We have our own Shirley MacLaine, Jeannie Johnson, who's kind of new to us in town here. She came last year and offered to play timpani for us and made arrangements, so we got some of them. And but she's well known up in the cities. She's sung with a number of the big bands up in the metro area, and one of her own, I believe it was, and has played percussion all over the place up in the Twin City area. And so she said, "Have you got any songs that a singer could sing?" And I look back and I think back. The piece was written in 1966, and in '67 it was made into a movie. Our arrangement goes back to 1970, and I played it with my 8th grade band back then, in the spring of 1970, and we're going to do it tonight. Big Spender, vocal soloist, Jeannie Johnson, written by Cy Coleman and Dorothy Fields. Do you want to sing to this, or do you want to take it? Our own Jeannie Johnson, Big Spender from Sweet Charity. Our own Shirley MacLaine. Boy, we've had flyovers, we've had Lee Greenwood, we have Shirley MacLaine, we have all kinds of talent showing up around here. Isn't that wonderful? We are many fields. Thank you. Big Spender from Sweet Charity, Cy Coleman, Dorothy Fields. Okay, we're going to play another march now. This is from a series of musicals about World War II. This is from the pen of Richard Rogers. By golly, we don't have Carl King marching here tonight at all. Everybody else but Carl King tonight. Richard Rogers, and this is from his documentary, Victory at Sea, and this is called Guadalcanal March, one of my favorite marches. I love this march, and so I try to program it every once in a while. Guadalcanal March, Richard Rogers from Victory at Sea. Get mixed up with all my notes up here. I was looking for something very special. That was Guadalcanal March from Victory at Sea from the pen of Richard Rogers. Very, very good, different type march, but very, very familiar. And I love the trombones on that one. Ba-da-dum. Okay, they do a good job. Okay, we're getting to the point in our program where we usually play a serious music, a sacred song, and tonight is no exception. Remember at the first concert we had the former Marshall Area Men's Chorus, now the Southwest Minnesota Men's Chorus. Well, a couple of years ago, the Welsh Society of Minnesota has a chapter, and they get together one Sunday every spring someplace, and they sing hymns and Welsh songs. And somebody must have heard the chorus sing at one time or other, but a few years ago we were invited to go over and participate in that and sing. The Welsh has, Tom Jones, I believe, is probably the biggest product of some of that sort of thing, if you remember Tom Jones, the TV popular singer. And they have, every town has a men's chorus, like we have a band here, and they sing, and it's just marvelous. Well, we're going to go to that tradition right now, and this is a Welsh lullaby, probably familiar. I don't know when you might have last heard it, but this one's called All Through the Night. And some of the words of the first verse are, "Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and dale in slumber sleeping. I, my loved ones, watch am keeping all through the night." That's what we're going to do next, arranged by Albert O. Davis. The Welsh Lullaby, All Through the Night, as arranged by Albert O. Davis. He was band director down in Phoenix back at the time that this was being arranged for. It's out of a Welsh suite, Men of Harlech, and I forget the other one is in that suite, but we pulled this one out. Okay, I have the commercial that Mayfac hadn't contacted me, but I know it's coming up. We do such a good job of bringing you people out here for our Wednesday night band concerts, and we have one more to go. But a few years ago, when I was on the board, we asked the city to help out, and so they've sponsored some concerts after us. The band is going to go on vacation and get ready for other things, whatever. But the Mayfac Marshall Area Fine Arts Council is sponsoring 4 more concerts after us. And I must say right now, before I even tell you what they are, they will start at 7 because it starts getting darker a little bit already, and they'd just soon have you back home or off the streets before it gets too dark. And so those concerts will start at 7 o'clock rather than 7:30. And here's what they're going to do. There'll also be cookies and refreshments available at each event. We don't have that here. Good heavens. Well, I'm in charge of too much of it already, so we'll let somebody else worry about that. But there will be cookies and refreshments available. On July 20, we're here yet next week, but on July 20, it's called Backyard Strings. Maggie Harp, 4 musicians from the New London area with a variety of instruments and styles, including folk and bluegrass. Maybe some of us, it could be somewhat like Maroon Crossing that we saw Friday night down in Belton, something like that. Backyard Strings on July 20. On July 27, returning for the second time, I believe, the Southwest Minnesota Orchestra, along with students from their annual string camp. That will be coming up, and that's on the 27th. On August 3rd, it says here, Matt Christensen, 2014 Marshall High School graduate, entering his junior year at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And he sings originals written by him and pop, rock, Pop, Rock, and Blues. Matt Christensen, August 3rd. And August 10th, we'll have back, they've done this before, and they're back, and we have some of the singers in the chorus, or in the band right now. The Prairie Arts Chorale will sing favorite hits from their spring show and more. So this is all called A Little Night Music, and this will be an extension of the concert season here at Liberty Park, 7 o'clock, and I thought we better get that announcement in now, because if we don't get a concert next week, you wouldn't know about this other than in the paper. So those of you that are faithful to the band, come back and listen to some of this other variety of music. Some of us will be back for listening as well. Okay, enough for the commercial. Again, we do this next week, but we're going to finish right now. We started with Sousa Freelance, and we're going to finish with one of his, probably next to Stars and Stripes Forever. This is the most familiar one to most people at that time. This is called the Washington Post March. Thank you. The arrangement was by Breon and Schissel, two of the people who are traveling around the country pretending to be John Philip Sousa. They're traveling with a band, and they put the volume and did volume changes and all those sorts of things. They're kind of clever. Just when you expect the band to cut loose, they're even playing softer than they did the first time, right? Washington Post March. Next week, Lord willing, and good weather, we hope to have a special feature. A young lady that has been with the Marshall Municipal Band from about 1974 or 75 to 2005. She spent 30 years in the city band. Her name is Patty Brandt, and she played saxophone for us for all those years. She was one of the first students that I ever featured as an 8th grader with an 8th grade band, standing up front playing a solo with the band accompaniment. Very, very fine musician. She moved away down to Nebraska City and presently in Omaha, and she wishes to come back next week, and so we hope to do a Harlem Nocturne and feature her on a few pieces. And if we can ever get it worked up, we might even play Frozen. We're looking at that one real hard, seeing if we can get that thing going. No guarantee on that one, but we'll do Harlem Nocturne and Misty and some of the other things, and a couple of new pieces too that we've done. So come back next week and catch us on our final concert for the season. And again, we thank you all for coming and being such a faithful audience. I realize it didn't look all that great earlier, but thank you for being here. We enjoy playing for you, and so thank you. You're great. You're just tremendous. We have something going here. All right, would you please have a safe trip home? And at this point, would you stand and please join us in our Salute to America with our national anthem.